afternoon, everyone, and Lane and Alan and Robert, thank you for getting me involved in this whole thing with V5O. It's my pleasure to be here. And we also had a great time 2 Thursdays ago. And again, I owe this all to Robert, Mr. Waxman. So thank you, Robert, and thank you for being here. So Randy Brickman, what do I do? So this was one of my vehicles in 1975 to 1983. And that's me in the background there on the phone at the beach. And unfortunately, that car never made it after 1983. It was stolen in Queens off of 150th Street and Union Turnpike, the night of my birthday. And I was like, when I went to sleep, the car was there. I went to go to work the next morning. I said, how could that truck be in my spot? It just doesn't make sense. And then it was gone.
Hey, Randy, that's right by the White Castle there.
No, I was, so not too far
You
from
never
it.
park your car there.
Harvey, that's right.
There's
Not
more
too
cars stolen on that street. They used to drag on that street.
Right, not
There
too
was a
far from it.
race drag.
Yeah, not too far from it. And I was like, oh, my first car. You know, I had a beautiful stereo system in there. I had a Marantz Super Tuner and a Fosgate Power. I had 100 watts RMS in that car. It was smoking. But, you know, whatever, the car was gone. I still didn't get over it X amount of years ago. But anyway, as you can see, I like cars, watches, and pens. So I'm a Rolex guy. I like Rolex. I like Ebels. I like Breitlings. I like Montblanc pens, but I also like Parker pens. And I also like Cross pens. I like a lot of things. I have all these toys in front of me. I'm an Apple person, right? I like Mickey Mouse, right? So what am I? Randy Brickman, you know, I understand the dynamics of a family business. I fortunately had wonderful parents that taught me the work ethic, that taught me to be nice to people, that always told me, you know, karma has a funny way of, you know, working itself to you. So always treat everyone the way you want to be treated. And that's what I live my life by. I try not to, you know, be, for lack of better words, I try not to be a bad person, because one of my father's brothers was that way. And he was that way even to my grandparents. And that's who we were in business with. I can't even qualify the man to call him, you know, what the relative is of my father's brother. So bottom line is, I understand the dynamics of a family business, and I can help a family business from soup to nuts by protecting them with, you know, life insurance, disability income protection, long-term care insurance, protecting their business and their valuable employees. There's key man insurance, or golden handcuff type of a situation where you don't have to offer it to everyone, and the business owns it in the event of something happening to that key person. But basically, I'm a relationship person. I'm always taught, you know, we all have 2 ears and 1 mouth. I'm a very good person that active listens. I try to be my best to everyone. I'm married. It's hard to believe when I say this to most of you, because most of you may not know this. But as you see, what is the name on the car? It says Randy B, right? So I used to work for a company called United Merchants Ameritex, which was an apparel fabric, you know, textile company. United Merchants, if you remember, they also manufactured contact paper. Does everyone remember contact paper? You would peel it off and you could put it wherever you want. Well, that was one of their products, but I was in the apparel fabrics division. So I sold piece goods, and I literally was walking around with 2 bags on my right and left hand. And I didn't go to movie theaters. I didn't go to diners. I was out working and hustling. Because my father said, Randy, you're too good for the paint, wallpaper, window treatment, family business. But then I said, you know what? Enough of this, you know, garment center BS and the unions and whatnot. So I said to my father, I said, I want to come into the business now. And he said, okay, fine. You know, you paid your dues there. Please come in. So I come in, and then after I came into the business, I had just met the woman of my, you know, dreams. And believe it or not, her name is Randy also. So I got laid off from the garment center because it was corporate politics. And that's when I said to my father, I'm tired of the garment center. I don't want to be part of this nonsense anymore. I'm going to meet a friend of ours at Lido Beach in Long Beach. And all of a sudden, my right eye caught something, which was, my future wife. And I followed her to the concession stand and I tap her on her right shoulder and we start talking. I'm in my gym shorts and whatnot, or my basketball outfit, right? Or bathing suit. And I literally, because Lane and Alan saw this as well as Kim, this is what I look like back then, okay? This is what I look like back then. And I literally—
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty or John Travolta. So I literally tap her on her shoulder and I said to her, hey, how are you? What's your name? So she says, Randy. I said, really, Randy? I said, you're not going to believe it. I said, so she goes, well, what? She goes, well, I said, that's my name. She goes, get out of here. I said, why would I lie to you? So then she says to me, I don't believe you. I said, why would I lie to you? So, and then I said to her, well, so how does someone get to know you better? Like that was those old pickup lines, like, hey, how are you? How do you get to know each other better? She goes, well, I don't know. So I said, well, look, obviously I'm here in my shirt, shirtless and my bathing suit on. Let's walk to my car and I just want to get your phone number. Is that okay? So she said, sure, right? So we walked to my car and then I'm like, I can't believe it, she said to me. I said, what can't you believe? So she says that I have a similar car to you. I said, and what's that? She goes, well, I have a Camaro. So on her Camaro, right, it was like mine was a 1975 Formula Firebird. Hers was like a 1977 sky blue Camaro. And on her car, the tags were her name, Randy. I was like, God, I don't believe this. So I have Randy B. She has Randy, so how crazy a story is that, right? You just can't make that up. So, all right, she gives me her phone number and I go back to where I'm sitting and she was sitting a little bit in front of me and we stayed a little bit too long and, whatever. I tried contacting her, but she gave me a really hard time, like a really hard time. She was like, I'm busy, I'm this. And I said, okay, I'm busy too, right? I said, I'll try you next week. And I never needed to do that because I not to be bragging or anything, but what, Robert, you can appreciate what I'm saying, right? I didn't need to go after people, but I was she got me and she gave me a little bit of a hard time. Well, long story short, we were supposed to talk to each other at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I couldn't make that phone call. I was helping my father. So we had one of our stores was on First Avenue between 3rd and 4th Street. And all of a sudden we were taking one of the, trucks that were in the business. We were taking it to Valley Stream to get service because that's where we bought it. And as we're coming home, my father and I, because I followed him in my car, as we're coming home, all of a sudden I look up on the LIE by Francis Lewis Boulevard where Oceana is. I said, wow, there's a blue Camaro up there and the hood is up and I can't see anyone, but what are the odds are? So I'm calling her, and she's not answering the phone. And long story short, when I finally got in touch with her, because you didn't have cell phones back in the 75, 76, 77, right? So when I got in touch with her, she said, I was in an accident. I said, were you on Francis Lewis Boulevard off of Oceana, off the LIE? She goes, yeah, how do you know? Because I said, I saw you, I was below, So then I said, where are you? She goes, well, I'm in the hospital now in the emergency room. So I went there, I came with a Carvel. I came with a Carvel, and I never met her parents before. And this was she was giving me that hard time, right? So I come to the emergency room with a Carvel stick shake and oh, her parents wow, look at this guy. Look at this prince. Where's he coming from? So by the way, someone just asked me how old I am. I'm 65 years young, right? I didn't grow up yet. So So long story short, it was a little bit of a rainstorm, and you know how it was in the summer when it rains and there's a little bit of drizzle or grease on the road. So she made a turn and she like did a little 360. Luckily, she didn't get hurt, but she went to the hospital just to make sure everything was okay. She hit like like the sidewalk, not any car or anything. But so anyway, we wound up. Her car was in an accident. And then the day that I went to go do like that modeling, when they said, you're not really this, I got a whole portfolio together. I'm coming home from her parents' house, and her mom said to me, do me a favor, you want to have dinner with us? I said, it would be really nice. I would love to, but I have to help my father. So now we have to pick the car up from the week before. So I said, I got to help my father get the car. So long story short, all of a sudden I'm driving down the street, and someone hits me. They run a stop sign. And now my car gets pushed into someone's house off of 130, like 140.
Into someone's house?
Huh?
Into someone's house?
Into someone's lawn. Right? Like I go over and I'm like, so long story short, so now I have to get my car towed. I couldn't help my father, so he had to get someone else to pick him up. So now both our cars are in this body shop called Foster Brothers off of Northern Boulevard in Flushing. So the nose of the car is the fender, the grill, and the other fender, right? So both cars are right next to each other, and the nose of one car and the nose of her car and my car are kissing each other, right? With Randy and Randy B license plate. They couldn't believe it. And this is how we started to date. And that was it. And the rest is history.